Tuscany and Secret are on the attack. Hap, take it away.
After Oregon done quick, Desk done quick, and Milos with a red nose after he put some decoration. I was going to say, is there now actual snow coming down? And it's not. It's just, you could... It's done. All right, well, we got a little different tune going on every single time. We are headed towards Villa. And then the question will be, is it going Russian or is it going towards Secret?
I'm glad that you heard that sound and that wasn't just in my head.
No, the sound was definitely there. I just tried to continue talking.
I'm very concerned.
I got more thrown off by you looking into the sky, like what's going on.
I just need to know. I need to know that everybody else is hearing these noises.
Yes,
and that it's not just me.
We do.
It's a wonderful Christmas time. Having a wonderful Christmas time. I asked our observers when we came in today, Medics and Easy.
Yes.
I said, what do you think of Christmas? And both of them very miserably responded.
Yeah, they both didn't say they were Christmas people. Either way, let's see what Villa will bring us, will cook up for us. As we're headed into the fourth map. Now, if you have just tuned in and you're like, all right, I see 2 stripes on the side of Hellraisers. Just one secret. Who won it?
Okay,
we're listening to this.
Okay, so we can currently still hear our wonderful analysts for a second. You cannot
cut us off now.
So we were just listening in that. I don't think broadcast probably didn't hear, but occasionally
I don't think so either.
The mics, they'll wear them and have a bit of a chat. And someone tweeted that Fresh looks like a poor man's Hap.
Yeah.
And you look like a poor man's Intero.
I don't agree with the last one.
You look like Intero's younger brother.
Maybe, possibly.
Yeah.
But Intero and I have a little rivalry going on every now and then.
Oh, a turtleneck rivalry.
Well,
maybe one of the softest rivalries.
What he calls me is Dutch. That's literally all he says. It's not inaccurate.
No, it's factually correct.
Yeah, it is. But when I call him Canadian, that's like, oh, that's also a player, so it's a bit difficult.
Yeah.
Either way, Villa, map number 4, a lot on the line here. Hellraisers have the opportunity to lock it off. Team Secret is looking to find this one, their own map pick, to continue the reversed sweep. It's important to them. It's important to Hellraisers. But only one can walk away with a win here. And as we just saw, Keenan going on an absolute murder spree against the Hellraisers. Let's see if that is being kept up. And let's see if Hellraisers is yet again starting to struggle under this best-of-5 scenario.
This is the first time we've seen Secret lead in on an attack. They've otherwise been starting defense every single map so far. Obviously, when Chalet came through as the secondary, it is for a lot of teams preferred to start on their attack, and it came through for Hellraisers here. Now, obviously, the bit of a difference and the bit of a swing is we'll get to see if Secret continue some of the momentum that they had previously. The Lion in the pockets of Pack Ball gives the idea that they might go for something short, sharp, and a bit of a drive directly to the site itself. They're just getting the read through, and that is the pop of a Gone 6. They're going to hop this and go for the aggression. Swung around, looks for the first fight. Sleben wins out, and there's the second. The site is theirs. They're going to see if they can get the plant down. The E1D is giving all the intel away. A C4 goes for the pop and the drop, and there's the toesies of a body that tries to slip away. And what an early take, what an introduction to a Villa map, and there it is. Exodus bites back on the far side. Keenan, though, is continuing the reign of terror he had on the previous one, and wow, blink and you missed it. We are on map 4.
Map 4 started and the first round is already over. Secret is the one that leads into it here with an early attack round, actually, and I think there's no better way to start off a rush than in round number 1 on Villa. Right after you took the previous map with Absolute Storm. This is surely going to get into Hellraisers, their minds here after they lost such a commanding loss on Oregon. And now it seems like Secret is getting off flying here on Villa. Of course, it's their own map pick. We cannot forget that. And as they try again for the trophy in the statuary room, it is Secret that goes for similar operators yet once more. We see the line, we see the Finca. Surely not a rush that will be coming out, but you cannot rule out that there will be some good pace.
Simply having a wonderful Christmas time. Now, they've had a bit of an introduction, they've had a bit of a rocky start here, and they made sure that their name was the one that was on the board instantly. Setting up the drones, and again, I'm curious to see how Villa starts to grow, because although, as we said earlier on, the later the maps are in the map ban, it is more the general middle ground. You expect to start on two extremes of preference, and then slowly find your way in to the middle of the battlefield where you expect a balance. And to be fair, expectations, which is the main takeaway of the point, is something that we saw Secret fly very well in Oregon. They were comfortable with the map. They were familiar with the map. And it wasn't just the game that was being put forward on Hellraisers, but they seemed to have an idea of how Hellraisers wanted to put themselves towards it. Will Villa be an extension of that as another long stay in the comp scene?
It's going to be a big question indeed. The Secret, they brought up that pace in that first round. They brought up the pace through the entirety of Oregon, and it seems like Keenan going in quick again here from the basement, looking to go up the Astro stairs with a bit of support from Keenan. It's Kendrew, sorry. And Keenan up on the window here. Surely they're going to have an opportunity to get rid of the player in Solarum, especially with the shield just about to be put down. Slarzo, that is aware that someone could be below. As the window now opens up, he's forced out of his position.
Sleben suffers this time round, but they're able to get that open. It's Rush, who actually finishes it off with the C4 from underneath. The E1D pops off. The grenade, unfortunately, hits the wing of the window, and they can't quite get themselves towards that shield in the back line. The canister creeps over the top of Gomfi, but Packball has the cover. It's very important, but Flarezo locks it off with that sprayed canister Exodus on the backside, and this was the Hellraisers' response. They made sure that they had themselves in positions to quickly bite back. It was a much quicker use of C4s this time round to solidify some of the entrances. It was a much quicker use of smoke canisters just to shut the door on the approach, and it has paid off dividends. Keenan now on the far side, and Kendry's been able to sneak his way close. There's nobody just on the statue. He wants to see if he can catch a player out, but Flarezo strikes first. That's the idea, and now it's just Keenan left. The second rush did not go the same way as the first, and, well, with a player dug in, can't quite find their way through, and Hellraisers have a response.
Yeah, but Hellraisers are indeed able to find that response straight away this time. Not just like Oregon, where they were 6-0 behind before they finally managed to win that round, which quickly were, you know, again, Team Secret with the round to lock it all off. But it's a good start, at least for Secret. Having that first round in is going to be so valuable at the end of the run here. And now they need to find a second and potential third, whereas Hellraisers, on their defensive half, need to limit that damage. They need to make sure that they give as little amount of rounds to the side of Team Secret as they possibly can. It's not difficult when it gets started off with a rush. And you mentioned it before, the Nitro, the smokes were being used way better compared to that first round because it seems like they were a bit more prepared for it. At some point, the pressure started to go up, the pace started to be increased, and at that moment, it was Hellraisers in a position where they could actually reply.
So, Secret, they stepped in with some pace, and as you said, Hellraisers were prepped and ready for the response. That's a lot of C4s. 4 in the pockets, with the Pulse going to probably be leading it, but again, with the Valkyrie on the board for the first time, I believe she's been allowed onto the game so far as of yet today, pretty much suffering a ban on every single map, and I'm curious to see how much of a growth that might have in the pockets. It's sort of the response of the Echo has been causing a lot of problems. Let's get rid of that and see what we can go with, and now that gives Smash a bit of free range and rain to roam with that Valk.
And that means that these 3 black eyes can be tossed out anywhere on the map. Still outside, hasn't been changed yet, and feed in that information just ever so slowly into the hands of Hellraisers to help a mission guide DC Force towards the right positions. Now, Hellraisers have the 1 map advantage over Team Secret currently. They just need to make sure that they find 1 more in the next 2. As they lost their own map pick, it's only Secrets and the Decider on Cafe left. Too many, probably we wouldn't be seeing the Cafe, but as things are currently shaping up, I wouldn't be surprised to see Secret pull in this map as well.
Waiting for that electricity to go, and it does, and that allows Packball to get that long arm towards the pressure on the pantry stairs.
Uh-oh. I think it's just Softball that get destroyed from it. Ah, there you go.
There you go. A little bit slow, yep, the top line unfortunately didn't quite bury itself all the way through, but It is still something that can be shot through. And now as they see if they can try and get some of the control over the top, obviously the slowest pace, but there's so many C4s in the pocket. And Imogen, as I said, that pulse is leading it. Keenan is in a bit of a danger. He suffered quite a lot, and the first one is probably going to go up in just a second. There it is. It goes off. Doesn't quite get the angle. And now they're going to see if they can hop through, hop two, and, well, it's all soft. And there's those cams I also mentioned being a problem.
Probably trying to go for a prediction where with the first C4, unfortunately not able to pick up anybody on the side of Hellraisers, and that leaves Keenan still alive on his top floor. The man has been an absolute menace to the side of Hellraisers. He's been picking up so many important kills, and as they slowly start to continue to remove every bit of ceiling right above them, that provides them a small bit of cover from a line of sight. This Keenan, that is really starting to become a big problem here for the side of Hellraisers.
That's it. Keenan's taking quite a wide route here, and they're sort of waiting for them to approach the hatch itself and see if they can loop the C4 up underneath it. But Keenan, he's suffered against this game before, and well, as another one pops off without an avail, you can see Secret players are starting to stack themselves up in laundry underneath. They're angling towards the door, and there's the first success story from the third C4 tossed. Kendry's in the site, though. He doesn't want to be here too long. There's a lot of angles and places to get caught, so he swings, and he goes for the first fight, finds the drop and the down, and they're going to plant behind it. It's a bit of a freebie. They've been pushed away, and they're going to have to see if they can go for the retake. Gomfy gets a reveal of an MPX, but pulls back a post plant, and it's a deagle around the corner, but it doesn't quite whip and whip in the same way that you want it to. Smash is going to see if he can get the rotate, and there's a bit of deagle revenge with Exodus putting the pressure onto the diffuser itself. But with the hole above, it's going to be a pre-swung C4 that might try and catch a player. No dice, no avail, and with 27 seconds and both Secret players above, they're going to have to go for a bit of a rotation up to the top. There's one, there's a bit of a scrappy fight, and a pre-placed grenade is just going to buy some seconds on the door, but Smash, he's holding onto the diffuser, can't quite get the angle, he misses the pull, misses the swing, and Hellraisers connect!
The grenade coming in, the two men from the top really dragged in that attention, and as the diffuser went down, that is of course working both ways. Suddenly the defender or the attacker left at the top floor needs to defend that diffuser, especially since you're the last one left. But the two men upstairs, of course, are going to come right after you at the exact same time, making sure that the trade would always be there. And now Hellraisers have the advantage here. It's 2-1. But it's not won yet. It's nowhere near close to be winning yet because Secret still have that one attacking round. It's always so important on a map like Villa, especially if they manage to get in a second. But I was kind of confused because there was basically no one on site. Kendry managed to get through, pick up a kill before he was not even really being shut down. It was the Valkyrie that came out of the pantry stairs. Swung with the Deagle, managed to pick up that kill, and after that the post plant really started to get in the way, but it was just a confusing round overall, especially when the plant went down.
Lions back on the board. This time in the hands of the ace, which when you're up against AVG, obviously there's the study side that you want to try and get open. There's the back line on the gun vault as well. And sure, you might be able to put some pressure from underneath, but still, you're generally wanting some of the hards opened. So it's a bit of a risky routine, and I'm curious to see how it gets implemented in the push. Okay, they found their way through onto site there, and an E1D popping off after the post plant there could have netted a very different result. It would have either bought them about 5 seconds of silence and still to reset themselves up, or it might have netted them some intel that could have led to a kill. The pressure came through pretty much instantly, and it was suddenly all swung back by Hellraisers, but it's not the first time we've seen a post plant go away from Secret today.
The advantage here for Secret is that, you know, they have made these openings in AVG. Sparkle spots out a player there. He's not going to be able to land the kill immediately after. Mission well aware that some pressure came down on him. This is the opening I was talking about, by the way. So they have the opportunity to contest the vault, even without a heart breacher available to them. If they manage to dig in deep enough behind the study, of course they would need top round control. They need to get landing control as well. At that moment, you have the opportunity to go for the plant. But then there's these verticals in all positions. There's going to be the opportunity for Hellraisers to drop down. I believe Rush is already on that bottom floor looking to stop any of these plants from happening. Oh no, he's still 90. Could still drop though. Hatch is opened.
Steady droning out on the opposite side of the split as they're seeing if they can creep their way in from the bedroom and try and get a bit of a collapse down on the players around onto 90. Rush is that backline. And with a triple kill, or with 3 even to his name so far. He's going to see if he can try and add to that tally before it starts to slip away from them. Secret, I mean, their opening round was the rush, and since then it's been a little bit of a back and forth with some good positioning that's otherwise unfortunately suffered some of the results of earlier. But as he said, it's early in the game, and that's an early take. Flarezo, the smoke, who's often been a great backline and last stop in the sentence of how are we going to approach and stop them approaching, is removed. It was a very early swing round, a minute 20 left, and they're able to start trying to put the pressure onto the main stairs.
Still, Shield in a key position, though, on the back of the Classical Hall. Is going to be able to challenge the 90 area. And due to there being a lack of a heart breacher, they're not going to be able to open up the fault wall instead as well. They need to go through these doors, and as grenades are being tossed out to try and get rid of any of these players, they're not really hitting much. Maybe a Kona station as 2 players now rotating through that small rotation, heading back towards the side. As a reinforcement comes in as well, that means that that shield is no longer going to be able to be used.
That's it. They're locking down, banning on the hatches and making sure they can withstand the storm that starts to pop from underneath. The grenade just goes round, doesn't quite get the full catch on Smash, and they should be able to find themselves a little bit more comfort solidity, but there it is.
Shot.
Exodus bites back. Kendrew creeps around on the slow side. They're going to see if they can get through what was previously opened and now locked, and there it is, another take here for Kendrew. And as the E1D pops off, they've got to work out how they're going to make the door stop as Exodus, he keeps battering back and forth against them. Smash almost catches the flight and the flood, but it's Keenan that finally stops the roll here. The C4 doesn't quite get off. Kendrew is able to get a very important kill, and Sleben locks it before the diffuser goes down, and it's 2-2.
C4 hit the vault door instead, though, but as you said, if that pressure wasn't there, that could have sailed over. That could have been the kill to come through, and it could have been a Hellraiser's round on the back of it. Now, the Turtle strategy did not really seem to be working out too well, and Secret managed to find their second round on the attack. Crucial, mind you. If they manage to find another one, then this half is basically all they could really wish for. And then there's still plenty of rounds left that they could try and find even more. Hellraisers, they need to make sure that they stop the bleeding now. They need to make sure that they are going to be stopping Secret picking up these rounds one by one. Because if it continues like this, then Villa will be going towards Secret's way.
2-2, and it's been a bit close. Obviously, one was a plant and a defuse. One was one of those tricky situations that if one other part of the puzzle had fallen into place, they might have been able to get a different picture. Okay, that's not how puzzles works, but you get the analogy anyway. It's been good from Secret so far, and if they can find themselves with 3 for the half, suddenly it looks like it could be great, because, again, this is a map where it's familiar to both sides, and this is where Secret have started to be able to ramp up. The 4th map was where the dream sort of ended last weekend for Hellraisers, and here, well, it wouldn't end the dream, but it would potentially throw away that 2-map advantage, that lead that they'd built brick by brick on the opening 2 presses.
Yeah, for sure, because then suddenly that map advantage is gone and it turns back into a best of 1 in that case. And it's not something you want if you're Hellraisers and you had a 2-0 advantage. Of course, it came down on the back of a Max OT on the 2nd map, but still, they won it fair and square. And arguably, they should have won it even before Max OT hit. Now, Secret have 2 rounds here on the attack on Villa. They need to try and find some more. And with the first kill going their way, it definitely looks like they have the opportunity to do so.
It's a different approach this time from Secret, and obviously the comparison was it was 2 rushes. Kendrew almost met the face of a fleeing smash by Ash, and didn't quite get the full lockdown that they wanted, but it was a great opener. Exodus has been a pretty consistent thorn in the side, and obviously is the top player currently for Hellraisers removed at this early stage. It means it's going to start to fall on some of the other players that you want to see step up, like Smash, like a Mission, who otherwise haven't been able to find their way into this fight so far. And that's the frustration, because you always look at the roster and you look at how fantastic those 2 players can be and how much of a driving force they were to get Hellraisers to where they are right now. And for them, in their own heads, to be in a situation where they feel like they should be able to keep putting bodies down and not quite connecting, it's a bit of a risk and a bit of a moment and a bit of a sort of worrisome affair.
Mental fortitude on the side of Secret also quite strong. 0-2 behind, now being able to bring it back to 2-1 and having the opportunity to potentially take the lead here on Villa as well, where you're leading in on the attack. Pings are coming through. They're wanting to go for some wall bangs here, but failed to do so in the first attempt. Kendrew has to go back up onto that roof before he attempts it. Question is he going to be able to find some of the kills or at least some pressure here? There's some hard walls around it. Not going to be able to find any G1 through that, but Smash in a walk-in closet in a key position to potentially take out Kendrew. Packball already very close to the side as well. Smoke cannisters are going to be tossed out right here. The grenade from Keenan actually takes down Packball. Not quite sure how that happened. We'll find flares though as well, however, and that means he trades out his own kill.
Well, he's a man that likes to do trades, even when it's him being the driving force. He was like, I know how I can kill this man. I can kill the first man. Now, as they've been able to sort of retake it, you can see Hellraisers trying to work out exactly where the pressure's coming from. Rush does an important play there, and Keenan keeps that drive going, keeps the body balance in their favor. Emission is locked on this staircase. Knows he's isolated a player into a 1 versus 1, but they're both seemingly aware, and that puts Smash in a bit of a tricky situation of who's watching Smash. Well, the answer is Kendrew. Waiting for the swing on the door as Keenan locks it off. He's going to stick the defuse on the far side. Sleben gets an important kill, and there's an important one back. Smash, as I said, he wants to step up. He needs to be the driving force he knows he can be, and now as the play comes through, the spray doesn't quite get the connection Sleben wants with the F2. It's a heck of a gun in the right hands, and he can surely be those hands. He's playing this cautiously. He doesn't want to overextend, and that is the third for Secret on their attacking half.
Well played by Sleben here. Stayed calm, wanted to go in quickly, and Kendrick goes for the nice shot, but unfortunately not going to be able to find anything more than that on the side of Hellraisers. They brought it back to a 1v1. Maybe he should have went for the swing a little bit earlier so that Nitro could have actually connected before the plant went down and bring it towards a bit more of a balanced 1v1. And Secret now with that lead here on Villa during their attack is looking to make this go to map 5 if they continue this pace. Of course, it's still only the first half, but that's what they want to do. And I said it when they won that first round in Oregon. When they got 4-0 up, they set the first step of the reverse sweep to come through. And now they're looking to set the second.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
Secret. Have they done enough? Probably to them, no. They're going to see if they can get one more here, and we're back into the very decisive game of that's a lot of C4, Hellraisers. Are you going to raise Hell or the floor? And any players that might get caught on the approach on Bedroom, they have the Pulse, they have the Valk, they have everything they need to make a slurry of Secret players. And it's just actually trying to find the connection, because if anything, and I know it's been the conversation of, are Secret going to sort of play against the Intel game? Are Secret going to pull this? What are they going to do next? Well, what they have done is seemingly had a little bit more of a cautious approach, and a approach to the idea of Hellraisers probably know where we are. So let's try and play a little bit around that. Let's push ourselves a little bit. We're seeing Keaton go for slightly wider routes when he was on the soft destruction roll. Obviously, Kendrew's picked that up for this round at least, and you expect to see the same game from him. It's also 6 frag grenades that they've brought as a sort of response here, and you hope that, I guess, they go the right direction this time, Keenan.
Something I said during the previous map, no Jaeger, no Aruni, no Wamai at that point, 6 frag grenades. However, none of them found their targets. But now Secret are eager to find theirs. A drone comes through. They know one is on the bottom of the red stairs, and Gumpy takes quite a bit of damage, but is forced to fall off. Rotates are being pinged. A player inside living will be called out, and that at least gives them a small idea of what the setup looks like currently. But it also tells them there's 2 players offside. That means there's an opportunity to try and hit it from either the pantry or the laundry machine and potentially go from plant from there on.
Now, obviously, opening up their way around onto the backside, they're going to see if they can cause some problems in the room with the covered art and paint their own picture and story of how they'd like to lock off this half. Gomfi's pretty damaged, and even more. And I was just about to say, a C4 will take even less to try and get the kill. There's one more, there's hot intel, and there's a cold body. Finally, they find a proper connection quite early on. Last time it took 3, this time 2. Steadily, they're improving, but this is their last chance to do so anyway. So, Emission's going to see if he can double down. No. Kendra is still in the walk-in, opening up some angles. They still have this cautiousness, and they still have a lot left to get through, though, and that's worth considering with 1:30 on the clock.
Yeah, definitely is. Emission takes a small amount of damage here as Smash rotates back towards the actual site. It seems like Secret want to go for a push here. The Selmas are going off. They do create an opening into the A-bomb side, but Flarezo is currently holding that one off right through the door. They need to find themselves a safe space to go for a plant, but it's going to be very difficult here with Emission, of course, still in that position in Memorial that's calling out every single player, every single small movement that they make. But Exodus right here below on the back stairs is looking to strike up onto Sleben as well.
That's it. Exodus is a player who's been able to get himself into these tricky situations and positions before. He just swings onto the backside, and there he's actually able to slip and slink his way up round on the other side, and Sleben wasn't in a position to try and catch him back, but almost caught and gifted an elbow. There's a head. That's even better, and he can't quite get the connection he wants. There's Smash, there's Sleben, and there's a flood of bodies all over the site, and finally ends with a 2 versus 2, though. Sleben, massively injured. Packbull not faring much better. They might have been able to slink their way into the site, but without the cover, they're still a bit concerned, and there's a bit of a dabble dance over the top. They don't quite have the lockdown on where that pulse is. They've gone wide. They've gone for a new home, and there's Packbull still being scraped and scratched by the opposite side. They've structured, and they've moved, and Packbull is really concerned. They don't have the solidity. It's a very clever rotate from Hellraisers here that puts another 2nd and 10 into the pockets of their attack here. Packbull goes for the lock-off. He's able to get it down, but now in a 2 versus 1, you assume we're going to see a little bit of a width because they still have the chance for rotation. The smoke on the door buys them a few seconds of time, but here with the Malusi going to be the first pop. Oh, he finds it, and he goes for the 2nd, but can't quite connect, and there it is. 3 apiece. Hellraisers just lock it off. But it still feels like this game is just getting started.
And it's just getting started indeed, and the yellow ping definitely helped down there. I believe there was some coming down on that very final flick, but he almost managed to land the shot, and that would have been an amazing, maybe even, you know, deciding shot in the end if you would be ending up with that 4-2 attacking half. Now, Secret, you're heading over to the defense yourselves. What can you do? Are you going to be able to improve on the score that Hellraisers have been able to set? Or is Hellraisers, their attack, regain strength after lacking during Oregon? This is what we're waiting for. These next 2 rounds, I think, will be very decisively in what will happen throughout the remainder of the series. If it is Hellraisers that gets the better of him, they get the advantage out of these 2 rounds, who knows? We might find ourselves just ending it in 4 rounds from now on. But if it's Secret that do manage to get these next 2 rounds, then I think we find ourselves going towards the map 5 very slowly.
In the words of fan favorite, personal favorite, Tim, Ace of Pyrite Lever, we're going to all 5 maps, Des.
This one, accent.
This one's going all the way.
See, I wouldn't be able to even get close to it.
Can you do Des? If I'm a bad Tim impression.
I can say the swear words he says.
No, please don't.
Do that. Yeah,
no.
That's what I'm going to say. I'm not going to do that. But that's, I think, as close as I can come. I like you're already stepping away. Like, I don't want to have anything to do with it. I'm not going to do it. Don't worry.
Okay.
But as I mentioned, it's probably the closest I can get. So I'm just saying my true self.
Somewhere our bosses, their ears just perked up for a second. Whether they're watching the stream or not, I hope they're watching. But they might be busy. They've got a lot of stuff on. But if they're watching, they went, huh?
What are you going to do?
What are you going to say next, Hap? And if they're not watching, they went, Hap's just said something stupid. Oh, talk about an early exit. There's Exodus off the board. Now, this is a game that we saw quite a lot so far, as Exodus gets in the map quite early, tries to apply some pressure onto a backline. Sometimes successful, sometimes not. But usually, it's at least in the position he wants to find the fight. This time, no connection. Sort of like Sleben with that drone there as it drifts on by inside the bathroom. It keeps itself washed, and Comfy keeps washing him up. There's a 2nd there. A smash is removed quite quickly as well. The extension of the Aruni means Amision isn't going to have the cleanest route through here. Might have to take a bit of a utility burn just to get himself inside the door itself. But what a start to a half for Secret.
Don't even need to head towards that side. It's on the other side of the map, so a lot of utility needs to be used here if they want to get through. Amision will be tanking the damage there, knowing full well that there's still an Adrenaline Surge available to be used to heal himself back up to full HP. Now, where's the Hellraisers? They need to start pushing through. There is 1 minute and 40 left. Gomfi still below in the basement in a position where he could go for a late flank, and that is definitely something they will be looking forward to. However, the Nomad has been brought. They're here to start and cut off these rushes or these flanks that these defenders can put up, and well, it would work well if you have the advantage. Now you're in a 2-man disadvantage, and you need to start creating these openings, and with flares out below, there's a huge risk with that diffuser.
A bit of a slow. a bit of a moment here. And to be fair, that's not really Hellraiser's game, apart from the 6 odd rounds of silence they had in the opening half of the previous map. This is one of those times where things haven't quite kept hitting the beats and the bars of the planks beneath their feet. Now, the first fight starts to come together once again. Gomfi's able to slip away, and they're not able to actually get the lockdown here. It's one of the rare times, and here at the top, Mission, the Finker's going to be able to get themselves back up and try and put some lifeblood back in, but the door's being closed, and Gomfi, for a third time, he closes it even harder, finally. Put out of the misery of Hellraisers, they pick up the diffuser, and they got 40 seconds-ish to try and make something happen, but the ish is probably the biggest part right now, because there's still everything pretty much closed on the site itself. They're going to have to see if they can try and force their route, and with a pair of good gunners, it is possible, but it's in no way easy as this shield hopped up on the strategy table, goes for the blind behind and over the top of the shield. They are caught out. Rush with a great take and teamwork, 15 seconds and a smoke on the door, but bullets too. Secret get their opening defense.
Steady control seemed to be lacking there. That is, of course, eventually the reason why they lost that one out. A lot of, early engagements lost. Gomfi allowed to roam free and pick up many of these kills. And then not having enough manpower to actually force Study to be yours really helps Secret in this case. They now lead by a singular round. Hellraisers need to bring it back here. Capcan is being brought out, trying to surprise some of these Hellraiser members. Of course, there is going to be a finger. If you walk through a singular Capcan trap, not the end of the world. You're going to be able to be healed back up. If you do it at 2 at the same time, that is probably end for you. So that is something you need to be very careful of. Probably only one needs to step in one, or a drone needs to spot one, because it was a 6-pick, and they will be well aware of the operator and its gadgets.
Clash making a grand appearance today for the first time.
As well, yes.
And that's going to be, maybe a bit of a big play here. To be honest, the sort of push and rush of time hasn't always been the push on the rush and time. Their machine that they love to drive forward has worked just as well in the dying 15 seconds if they have the pieces uncontested on the route through as it has earlier on. But the congestion has been the big problem. It's the fact that over the past 2 maps, Secret are responding early. They're, instead of sort of trying to play the keep them at arm's length, carrot on a stick approach, which we see in a lot of Modern Siege, they're actually sort of getting in aggressive, getting in responsive and trying to respond to that early game. And I'm curious to see how Packball slots in with this clash, because it's something where if it's a puzzle, I have a feeling Hellraisers with enough time can solve it. It's just how much gets taken out along the way and how many of the pieces are strewn around. I keep talking about puzzles. I think it's because it's close to Christmas.
It's often a gift, right?
I love puzzles.
Yeah. Only this puzzle only has 3 minutes in total for you to solve it. And that, in the meantime, is down to 2 minutes and 21 seconds. So Hellraisers really need to make sure that they get that pressure on as quick as they possibly can, but not too quick, which forces you to make mistakes and put the wrong pieces over one another, so it doesn't quite fit all together in the end. Hellraisers is looking to go quick, looking to find an entry here at that top floor. They're also well aware of the fact that they need to be careful about potential C4s or the Capcan traps, or now this clash as well that's standing on the back stairs.
There it is. The Clash is making their presence known, and an air jab is probably going to find its home quite close to them, and they're going to see if they can lock it off. Capcans take out a bit of damage and a lot of damage to Rush, and suddenly the rushing isn't the part that they can do. Exodus is going to wait, but they know that that's open because they opened it themselves. The grenade was attempted as the catch round, but Packball hasn't shown up as of yet. The flash and the chance to burn, and there's a slow-moving shield, and just almost caught out, but as I said, with that being their own opening and their own devices, the device was let's pull back. There's Sleben going on a bit of an adventure. Doesn't make it all the way back in though. Flarezo went for something bold, and I'm curious how much of a gamble and angle that was. He thought he might have had a bit of a tour de force, but unfortunately the only tour was one of a brief trip outside and then towards the camps.
Not going to be able to make it back in as Kenry almost catches a grenade right here. Is forced to go deeper into the A-bomb site. More vertical holes are being created here by the side of the Hellraisers, choosing to go for a bit of damage tanking here of the Aruni laser gates. Still, of course, that extra adrenaline surge available that gets used now for Smash to make sure he goes back up to full HP. They have a man advantage, not the HP advantage though overall. I believe most of the HR members are a bit lower on HP. Smash looking to find that kill. Close to the pantry here is Kendrick going aggressive. Close in the window. That surely has been heard. And as the mission goes down, they need to find a response.
Well, there's a scrappy fight, and there's a diffuser down on the floor, and there's a grenade, unfortunately. No way was safe, and that was well played, but Comfy is still biting back, and there's still a clash, and you're looking at a handful of time, so they're going to have to try and put pressure on her sooner rather than later, smash the chair and everything else, but she's dug in the corner and is refusing to let you take this entrance and this route round. The spray on the top, and Comfy is stepping up with the last coming from Keenan, and Secret thread another 2 rounds in a row.
They have it, and now it's starting to get dangerously close towards the map number 5, where Team Secret is looking to defend their European League spot. And they were 2-0 behind in maps. They managed to bring it back, and a tactical timeout will yet again be called here by the Hellraisers. They have a minute on the clock to try and fix a mistake that is currently plaguing their team. I cannot tell you what it is. Surely they have an idea themselves, but it is not going too great for them right now.
It was one of the things that you always talk about in a best of 5 is the marathonic game, is the long game. It's the game that starts at the beginning of the day, long before you're in the server, when you're sort of setting yourself up, you're doing your warm-ups, which will start very early. You're making sure you have your final team talks with your coach, with your support staff, knowing the weight of what the next 12 hours of your life is going to be. And not just that 12 hours, but you add in the hundreds of hours over the past year plus of getting to this stage in this state.
I think we can say thousands of hours at this point to get where they are.
Oh, yeah.
I already have 4,000 hours in Siege. It's like,
I don't know how much I have, but probably a lot.
like taking scrims into account, those don't get counted into the launcher.
Watching Siege doesn't get counted, unfortunately.
Fortunately doesn't, then I'm definitely over 4,000 at this point.
I mean, I think we're pushing over 10.
Yeah, I think we're getting there. We're already there for a while. Either way, Secret is looking to push us to map 5. They want to make sure that this one doesn't go to Hellraisers. And they're doing so on their defense right now. 2 in a row. This is what they've put on the board, and they're looking for one more to put themselves into a map point. Then they have 3 opportunities to lock it off and bring us to the decider, Cafe, where Hellraisers will be starting off onto the attack. And it will be Secret that will be on that defense yet once again. Currently the same what we have right now in terms of house. Of course on a fresh map, an all-deciding map where you cannot afford to slip up like what happened with Hellraisers in Oregon, which was their own map, but weren't able to put up more than a singular round on the board, which is quite painful.
Okay, Hellraisers, the team talk is on. Let's see if it can come to a fruition, because to be fair, you know, it's that worry is if they can get this round, it's not only the third, it's not only map point, but it's also their offside, and they've been close. But they want to be closer than that. They want some success, they want some bite back, and they want to make sure that they don't start slipping the way it was on the previous map, which was a lot of defensive rounds in a row. Close on the grenade. As they find their way just in to the sharp push. Emission is already stacking up there on the swing round onto the pantry door itself. This is a little bit more of that on-the-door aggression that we see quite early here, and that's going to be a bit of a warning sign to the players of Secret. They're pinging it out. They still have a couple of players quite loose that could go for a bit of a roam and a rotation over the top if they want. They know where they need to support, but as the cacophony of explosion happens all over the round, like we're starting to see a little bit of a classical piece of music come together with the cannon right at the end. Will this be as sweet as Pack of Bells, or are we about to see Kendrew find the first? And the first is actually an air jab. He'll hear it, he'll see it, and he'll be ready to drop it at a moment's notice, but he's got to time this to perfection, and the perfection is making sure that he's able to then catch the surprise of the players just around the corner itself.
Needs to make sure Emission is not aware, hears him as well, knows he's out there, and as more pressure seems to be coming on, he's just waiting to find a perfect moment to strike. Air jab still up. Gemini are being used now. This will be the perfect moment to take it out. I don't think any of them would hear it currently as the Gemini replicator is active. Emission is further on the back. Still Very patient though on the side of Kenru. Decides to go down even further. Yeah, once again, doesn't want to overstay his welcome. And Sleben right here spots ahead. He's not going to be able to land that first kill. Takes a small bit of damage, but Smash will find the first with Pack Bull and a grenade.
So close to getting the connection there. Can hear the air jab on that door, so doesn't want to swing too close to it as more grenades start to filter their way through. Obviously lost the smoke, lost Pack Bull, lost a big part of the potential hold here. And well, it seems like Secret are going to have to try and quickly retake the site itself. They've gone for big rotations and roams, and this is a soft door that means that he's going to have to make a bit of a noisy resurgence here around the top of the stairs. A slow creep and a mission. Make sure he gets another connection here. Underneath, they're steadily taking the Secret players out one at a time, and finally they've tried to find their way back through to the site, but now everything is into the favor of the Russians. The CIS team is able to absolutely fly across them, and Keenan is now in a bit of a big situation. Cannot quite get the connection once again with the player on the door. It's swung around from behind him. They're all over the shop, and a flawless after attack timeout is the perfect thing for a recipe of, hey, I want to bring myself back into this game cake.
They need to as well, because currently they find themselves at a 4-5 situation, and that means if Secret is going to be able to pick up yet another round, they find themselves onto a map point. Now, it is not like European League, even though we are in the EU finals and relegation matches. You do not get a point if you get to overtime. There's none of that here. Overtime just secures you the lesser risk at that point for the remaining rounds. Whereas Hellraisers, well, they want to make sure they lock it off now. They don't want to go to Cafe. They want to avoid that 5th map because fatigue becomes an issue. Not just for Hellraisers, also for Secret. The Secret is only now starting to live up to the momentum after having the first map with a 7-1. Currently leading here on Villa. They will be having the fresher legs, I believe, going into Cafe.
Wow, placing themselves their intel down, and obviously this opened with a bit of an early strike against the approach of Exodus. Led in from Gomfi, who's been able to have a bit of a drive on this map, which he hasn't quite had a connection with on the previous ones. They're going to see if they can get some
angle.
That stretch. Yeah, Packbull is doing some very specific.
It's not what he wanted. I think he will go back up. I think that's just...
Get it just right.
Will you be able to vault over there? I think he might be. I think you might be able to run over the edge and then vault back into the side.
These players. What will they
honestly
think of
that's
next?
it. Yeah, honestly.
You're going to try this later, I know you are. I can hear it in your voice.
If we don't see it, I'll definitely try it.
Well, let's see if they can try and bite back in. Secret now. They've
Sleben, by the way. Yeah.
suffered around, yep.
That's it. He's just chilling. No one will expect his angle.
I mean, it's such a peculiar angle. What strong core strength.
Honestly, that
Somewhere,
is...
all the great fitness
training.
people in Siege, like Emerald, like Lax, they're watching this like, that's a hell of a core strength.
A bomb has been located.
Needs to be careful, though, that he doesn't get spotted out. At least the drones won't. Well, I'm pretty sure that one. Exit is in a key position to be picked up here. Oh no, Slammy's not watching it. He's hiding himself in deep, and Exodus is close to the corner right here. As he drops down, it's Slemon to get that kill, and will be able to escape as well.
Finds a mission, finds that opener from a very peculiar position. And once again, they've lost that lead in, but importantly, they've lost the Finker. And we got to throw ourselves back to how many times we've seen that Finker used really well by Hellraisers. Not only when a player goes down to get them instantly back up into the fight, but also with the amount of scrap damage they've suffered from the shrapnel that's burst across both sides on the fight itself. It is a consistency, and a very good consistency. And now it's unfortunately removed quite early on, and that means they've still got to do a lot of the rest of the pressure and the pull onto the site itself, still with the C4 in the pocket and the potential of pop bullets and canisters. There's a lot of tick damage that might be across the board. Here the drive's still coming through, but there's still players underneath, and you know, how stressed is Gomfi about to be? How stressed is Sleben about to be? Exodus, he's going to see if he can try and find one or at least lock them down.
Honestly, all he needs to do is stop any Nitro cells to come in. And if he does that, he's basically keeping the attention of two Secret players currently as his Lonesome, which puts it up to a 3-on-3 on site. However, as players are joining that party, it seems like they will be outnumbered to go for a potential push. 55 seconds left on the clock. Exodus spots out the very first player. This could lean into a pre-fire. Sleben is not really moving at all. It seems like they're going to be going for it. Grabs the attention, gets the kill. Flairzo will be able to land that one and goes back towards the top floor to head towards the sides.
But Gomfi was undroned. And now that's the risky situation right now, as we saw the drone go right past that area, and as the smoke starts to come through, they've been able to solidify it, but the canister pops off too. It means they can't can't quite scream their way through. Kenny is in a very aggressive situation here as Keenan suffers not one, but 2 grenades delivered from underneath. Great take, 20 seconds. Rush behind the strategy table is able to not quite get the connection, and there it is, dropped. The diffuser's cold. It's a 2 versus 3, and now it's a 2 versus 2. The battle back instantly. They're going to have to try and make a dive for it, and they do. The connection over the top. They're going to see if they get the solidity, but now it's just the diffuser planner, and now it's just map point.
Map point will be here for Team Secret. All they need to do is hold on to one of these next 2 rounds, let not go to OT, and they will be finding a map 5 to be underway very soon, where they hold the fresher legs, at least it seems like, because right now Hellraisers is starting to crumble slowly. A 7-1 loss on Oregon after a 7-4 victory and an 8-7 victory themselves. It is seeming like Secret is currently pushing for that 5th map. All they need is an extra round. There's 2 more to be played before we head towards overtime. It's plenty of time for Secret to try and lock up yet another defense. And they're going to kitchen dining room first. Now, what do they have? Are they going to be able to strike early yet once more? I mean, Sleben's angle was used to the right circumstances. They managed to get a good kill out of that one. Had the opportunity to potentially go for 2 if they found Exodus out there. But they're not going to be able to use those again, because those will be watched. So they need to change it up. And yet again, the Capcans are coming out. We saw them being effective before, where they wanted to go quickly on the side of Exodus, and unfortunately caught 2 of them very quickly after one another, resulting in the DBNO state.
Match point, Secret. And you pull yourself in towards that setup on the reverse sweep, and Hellraisers, 2's the difference of getting into OT. 2's the difference of potentially being able to pull a fight, and also going to your preference on the side again. For all the times we've cited this, it is Secret's map. It is where they wanted to go for the fight, and Cafe is as neutral ground as you can get in a best of 5, the last left over. And it really gives us the full stretch, and you kind of want it at this moment in time.
You definitely do. You want to go to that 5th map. You want to see Secret fight for their spot to the utmost end of it here in Cafe. And even though Hellraisers, you know, they've lost the best of 5 before, and after the, you know, second set of maps started to come around, as soon as map number 3, map number 4 hit, it seemed like they were out of their fresh legs themselves. So they want to make sure that they don't let it get that far. They just need 2 rounds to bring it to OT, 2 rounds to give themselves another opportunity to go for it. Submission takes a small amount of damage right here for the member inside the statuary. It is Hellraisers that try and put damage and pressure onto him from multiple different directions.
Another pre-fire goes through, and a couple of bullets connect, but Gomfi's able to slip away from there before everything starts to pop against him. Great drone game, and this time it hasn't come at the cost of a Hellraisers player. There's another drone, there's a pre-fire over the top, and things still aren't massively connecting, but there's still more and more pressure. Keenan, he's not able to find any semblance of safety, and does the right decision. Gets out of there. It was coming from every single door on Villa is a big map with a lot of space. That's why you're able to do things like that. Take an air jab, watched by Rush on the drone there, and there it is. Keenan finds his revenge with the C4 underneath. Smash is gone. The sledge, a big bit of utility over the top here, is gone. And that's going to make holding these angles, these awkward takes, is suddenly so much worse, because now you don't really have a huge amount to drive the Secret players out of the site itself.
Just a bunch of these breaching rounds or breaching charges left, as Exodus is starting to put them down now. Also could go for some of the breaching impact nades that he has on the lifeline. Not quite sure if those are still left. That one will definitely put up some pressure as a mission. Takes a small bit of damage at the same time the explosion went off, so I almost thought that he got picked up by it. Realizes now that one was actually a concussion, but continues to do his work with the impacts.
Well, Rush is holding off the angle, making sure the rotations are in their favor. Packpool's gone for a bit of a stretch now. They're going to see if they can try and steady themselves in towards that room with all the art. And it's Flarezo that has the cover on the little window, but Sleben bites back right into the back of Rush. Keeps that body balance importantly into their favor. Emission massively hurt, but has all the charges they need to see if they can pump themselves with a little bit of life and a little bit of nanobots and a little bit of a cap can. Is the bite there onto Flarezo as they go for the drop into This plant spot here, they're looking towards that default, the pop of the remaining stun round to the back line. They know where the entrance is coming from. They know they only have 20 seconds, and they're going to see if they can offer just a modicum of support towards Emission. There it is, the punch hole. There it is, Emission, and Sleben is able to pop off for the second. It's one player left, keeping it potentially just with one map left. 10 seconds, and we are pretty guaranteed there. We are going all the way.
We're going all the way to map number 5 here. Secret is going to be able to bring it back. They managed to win the round. They managed to utilize their map point. And as a result, your team wins. I mean, that's yours, at least. I said in the end there, but we're going to that 5th map. We are going to Cafe, and that is what will decide who will be going to EUL or stay in EUL.
A long day of siege is what has been ahead of these players, and we said it at the beginning, it is a marathon. It's not a sprint, it's a test and a stress, and there's nothing purer than a full best of 5, especially with just how much is on the line. And if you're unaware, it's not just winning this and getting yourself up for a season. Okay, technically it is.
It is.
But if you've missed the news, a season's a whole year now. This is a year of their life that they've worked on for the years before, and it's going to be settled on the next map.
Yeah, we're basically heading towards that best of 1 scenario now on Cafe. We know who starts in attack, we know who starts in defense, but before we head into that, let's go to a quick break.
What does it take to create the future of a gaming